Hello and welcome back to the channel. I know it has been quite a long time since we've last had any sort of discussion about a book or anything. I believe the last one was on an entire trilogy. Actually, it was on the Dragons of Azental trilogy by Richard Fierce. And I just want to take this moment to quickly say before we get actually into it, I am very sorry for the giant break, but that breaks not to that extent, but breaks will be probably a bit more consistent. I'm now on summer break away from high school now. I just finished off my 11th year, junior year of high school. So now, I just went on a trip to South Dakota. So now I'm back. But I had realized I had stopped reading not as much. I used to be reading all the time. I really lost a lot of time during the school day. I didn't have it almost any time to read in any class or any time during school, and I had a lot of time the previous year. And also, just not that I don't like doing this, I find it quite fun to sit and talk and share my opinions on books, even though I know not very many people are even watching, but I find it quite enjoyable. But it almost made reading more of a chore. Not like a full-on job in the sense that I was going to get paid, because I'm not getting paid, let's be honest. There's no way I'm ever going to have the viewership to get paid for this. But, that doesn't matter to me. I'm just doing it for fun. And that's what kind of was happening is I felt like I have to read this in this time because I have to do these things so that people online will be more engaged. When, again, not many people are even watching anyway. But this is supposed to be a thing for me, and it's supposed to be creating my interests and my hobbies and expressing that to other people. So by turning it into a job and a chore, it stopped being fun. It felt more like an obligation, and so I didn't have any motivation to do it, and so I took a big break from reading. It's been about 3 months, as you guys know, and I haven't read literally anything since that last video until now. So, sorry for that kind of long preamble into it, but so I just got now back from South Dakota, last weekend. It is, I guess it's Tuesday, or Wednesday by the time I'm uploading this, but so 2 weeks ago, I guess, is when I got home, I got home around the 4th of July, and when I got back, I had a package waiting for me, something that I had pre-ordered back in March, and that, of course, is the Six of Crows, A Darker Shore, Letter from Ketterdam, the new entry in the Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. As you guys know, I've discussed with all of the mainline books, this is my favorite book series I have ever read in my entire life. The last book in this series, which was Rule of Wolves, is genuinely still my favorite book I have ever read in my entire life. It was amazing. It was so good. I know I kept saying I'm going to do this book or that book or whatever. I'm done with that now as well. I'm not going in order. I'm just reading for fun, reading for the sake of reading because I just want to read. Not I have to do this book in this order because this matters or whatever. I'm just doing it for fun. But, so I got this. It's fairly small. It's around, 60-ish pages. I can get the exact number in a second. Hang on. I swear they were numbered. Are they not numbered? They're not numbered, so never mind, I guess. I won't give you a page number. But, anyways, really, really good. It was amazing, and I desperately want a full-on, book. I want another book about the crows. I want to see, Inej and everyone back. I want to see all this, but let's get into the book first. So, first off, right off the bat, I highly recommend this book. I think this book is beautiful. It has like that's the opening, and then there's like it looks like old like parchment. It's really cool, and it looks almost like it's like paper tape like taped in. It's beautifully illustrated. There's gorgeous like lighthouse, and then like there's some gorgeous pictures in here. It is beautiful. So this book is mainly told as a conversation between two inspectors who are investigating this attack that happened at sea. And of course it takes place in Ketterdam, and they are suspicious of like larger foul play than just being an accident. And I don't want to spoil too much of it. It's this brand new book. It's really good, and it's really cool because what their main pieces of evidence are end up being letters that have been intercepted that are going between Kaz, Inej, Jesper, and Wylan, right? And through that, first of all, we see their different writing styles, which is always really fun, and we see like how each of them and like would write to a different character. Like we see how Jesper writes to Inej, how Inej writes to Jesper, how Kaz writes to Inej, how Inej talks to Kaz, and how the Inej's like tone of, and this is just writing, Inej's tone of writing to Jesper and Inej's tone of writing to Kaz are so vastly different because they have different relationships. But it's the same character, and you can tell it's the same character still because of how it still feels. They both feel like they're from the same person, but you can always also just tell that they're only different people without even just reading who he's talking to, which is just amazing. And I think that's super, super cool, and that's super interesting to be able to read and like see and understand. And like, not that I would say jump into this book for the first book in your time reading. I think it's definitely helped by reading the other books, but you very much like this gives you a sense of the relationships between characters without requiring you to have read Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, like any other books. You could theoretically go into this book, not know the characters at all, but like you could go into this book and understand their dynamics pretty quickly, which is really impressive for a book that's around 60-ish pages. That's really impressive, I think, right? I don't want to get into too many spoilers. That's not really what this is. This is just like my impressions. I think it's very, very good. I highly recommend it. There is like puzzles involved too. Not to like on every page of their new puzzle, mostly through there is these little envelopes, like actual envelopes that you can get in the book to like help break down the puzzle and like hints throughout it. And here is the thing. The puzzle is around music notes, like sheet music that's been written down. And I do not know instruments. I don't know them literally at all. And so when it's like a piano should do this note and then this note and hold this like this and put this one fast and tapping, it's like this is all going over my head incompletely. I'm gonna try to figure it out, but again, I don't have a lot of high hopes for that because I don't know music. So being able to go like this note for this is what this means. So the secret here is this is saying this happens, and I'm not gonna learn a whole instrument just to decipher this one little puzzle. I'll probably end up looking it up. It is very cool, and it does end up giving you most of it on the next page. Like it says, if I find it. Yeah, it tells you, it says that Brecker, of course Kaz, made suggestions for how the composition should be played. So that's telling you right now that the puzzle to figure out is how Kaz wrote the letters that you also have for the composition that you're given in here. So you're given this sheet music in here. I'm not taking it out right now. And you have his letters from before. So you have all the pieces of the puzzle are given to you right here. And then if you can't figure that out, he then, or she, I guess Laybar does it. The character is a male, which is why I said he, but it goes on to then explain part of it and leaves some of it blank. No, it's very, very interesting, and a very cool like puzzle. But then it goes on to say, now I will bury these documents for some foolish farmer to uncover when we are all long dead. I've included the final letters between K and I, Kaz and Inej. I haven't bothered to decipher them using the sheet music. What would be the point? The devil will have us do, and Kaz Brecker will no doubt skin a little off the top. Right? So then you're given this next letter and no hints on how to solve it at all. Meaning, so then, or other than just the music. So there is a puzzle that you are supposed to, meant to figure out without the help of the book at all. Like it doesn't tell you how to do it. And so that makes it interesting as well. But this whole book, and it's amazing. And from what I know, nothing else is confirmed for the Grishaverse. But I want more. I desperately want more. I don't think I'm the only one to think that. Me personally, I haven't finished watching season 2, but I really like the Netflix show Shadow and Bone. It's different from the books, for sure, and I think I want to, at some point in the future, make a video talking about differences from the book to the movie, or book to the show. I just felt it would be better if I waited till after I read, I think I need to reread the books and finish watching the show, of course, and then I can do that, because it kind of combines multiple different books, so I need to try to read all of those books again to then be able to take notes on what is happening and what is not and what's different. Again, I want to in the future. It's going to be a lot of work, so I'm not looking forward to that. I kind of am, because I think it's interesting for me to at least learn for that too. It's just going to take a lot of effort, and I haven't finished the show for the first time yet, so I'm going to do that eventually, long time down the line. But I loved the casting for sure, and I think the show is really good. And I love this book series, and I want more. And I know there's always I don't know if it's a saying, but I know there's always that piece of writing advice for books and movies and TV shows, and whenever you're making a long spanning series, that when you stop, it should be at a point where people want more, because if you go too far, then it will be a point of, well, why did we keep going? People will be at instead because you don't want fans to be I wish we stopped here or whatever, or I wish we didn't keep going after this X story. So when there is always this want of more is the best spot to stop, because that lets people imagine their own ways of continuing, which is fun for sure. With that being said, I don't care. I want more. I really want more. I love these characters. I love this world. I think it's so cool and interesting. I really want to see, and I touched on this when I talked about Rule of Wolves, I want to see more exploration of Shuhan and them. I want to see more of the Novi's them. I feel like this whole series has focused a lot on Ravka, a lot on Ketterdam, of course, Kirch. We got 2 whole books with them, and that's Little Tiny Island. So we can be done with the Kirch focused drama. We can have people from Kirch, that's fine, obviously. We can have people from Ravka, that's fine, obviously. But we don't need to focus on their drama when we've had all these books building it up. Just like how with Fierda, and I don't think this is ever going to be the case now, but before I even read that, read Rule of Wolves and just had read King of Scars, I was like, okay, if they continue after this, I really hope we get Shuhan more as like a villainous or like some other villain kind of faction, because Fierda's the villain, and Fierda's the villain, and Fierda is like always the villain. And so we can be done with that. We can be done. Like, we've explored Fierda, Ravka, and Kerch a ton. Novi Zem, we've barely seen. We saw it a little bit in the beginning of, I believe, oh my god, Shadow and Bone, Book 2, Siege and Storm. Siege and Storm, because that's where Mal and Alina were hiding, but it was like a chapter, and then that's Jesper's like backstory, but we haven't gotten to like explore that, like their culture and their area almost at all. And the Shuhan, we just started seeing the glimpses of with Rule of Wolves. And I really would love to see more, because I think it's such a fascinating... I love this world and I want to see more of it. I do still think we could, if we're seeing anything else in the future, I think it would be the Zoya, the Queen Zoya's mission that Kaz and the crew need to go on. It's not explicitly stated where here we are. Like, this is for sure after the main story of Rule of Wolves, as Nina is already the Fjerdan Queen and Zoya is already the Queen of Ravka, who's also called the Dragon Queen, which is awesome. I love Zoya. Zoya is just amazing. She's not really in here, but it's not said if this is supposed to be like before, during, or after. Like, we don't, because in the book, we don't know how much time passes between Zoya becoming queen and Zoya hiring Kaz to get her, like, whatever she needed. I forgot what it was. Was it the sword, or was that just something from the show? I forgot. But, like, Zoya needed them to go get something. And I would still love to see that story so much. I don't know if that's supposed to be before or after this. There's some also cool dynamics with Kaz's disguise. It shows that, like, he is, he was poisoning himself in this to disguise and blend in with the Merchant Council, so he could get more familiar with their locks and, like, fake all their stuff more, which by the end he has, like, stopped doing, but it has said that, like, that was just, he was full on poisoning and killing himself, like, slowly while doing that. So it would be interesting to see that come back into play. It doesn't go into detail, because, again, we're not from Kaz's perspective. We're from these two inspectors, like, investigators, who have just confiscated some of these letters going back and forth. So we don't know how much the characters know other than Kaz. So it'd be interesting to see, like, Jesper and Wyland's and, like, reaction to Kaz, like, poisoning himself. Inez's reaction to poisoning himself. It would be really interesting. I would really love to see more of Inej. I love Inej so much. I would love to see Inej come back as another main character. It'd be really interesting to see almost like a parallel between Inej and Nikolai, in, like, the sense of, like, their pirate persona and their normal persona being different people, like, being different characters, like how the privateer Nikolai and Prince Nikolai, like, they were different characters completely, right? Like, he didn't go by Nikolai as a privateer, he went by Strum something, I don't remember. And, like, how he made them two different people. And Inej, the entire time throughout, whenever she's in the letters, Inej and the captain of the Wraith, the ship, are different characters in the letters, which is obviously, of course, to help in case they got interrupted, that people wouldn't know what's Inej, because we all know Inej is the captain. This was Inej's whole dream. It's Inej's ship. It's all of this. Inej is the captain of the Wraith. So it'd be interesting to see like a parallel almost with Nikolai again from book 2 and Siege and Storm, when if they do that mission and then Inej like leaves her ship and with somebody else and goes back to being Inej, not being the captain of the Wraith, and like how those are different people. It'd be a very interesting thing to see. It also would be interesting if it is revealed, because we don't know at all what's going on with Inej other than she's hunting slavers and being successful at that. But it would be very cool if there were like a tailor on her crew as well, who like literally made her and Inej look different, like Captain of the Wraith and Inej look like different people also. That'd be very cool, because then that could then come into play later on if Inej needs to not be Inej but needs to be the captain again to be more intimidating. Like getting a tailor to change her into that and then being intimidating, like that'd be super cool. It's cool to see how Wylan and Jesper are trying to live like be like not nobility, but like wealthy people, but like not be corrupt and not be involved in like any of the drama that Jesper's like kind of antsy for. Like that'd be all such fun, like so much fun to see. And I would love to see Inej interacting with Zoya. It would, because they barely interact in Crooked Kingdom, and now knowing that they're both oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. I can't think of what they are. Oh my god. Like they're, all I can think of right now is Covey, but that's from Hunger Games. They're not Shu, they're not Semi, they're not Kirch, they're not Ravkin. They're like the nomads, like them being like the nomadic like people, and like Zoya being that and Inej being that is like an amazing and really cool, and that'd be an interesting thing to explore more. It'd be cool to explore. Like there's so much you can do, continue on with this world that I want to see, that it would be, I feel almost like a disservice to not come back. And I don't need to come back right away. We can take a little, like, there can be a break or whatever. I'm not also, it's not like I can tell Leigh Bardugo, you have to do this anyway. No one's even going to see this video, let's be honest. She's not going to see it. She's not going to be like, oh, you know what? Gabriel said I should keep doing this so I can keep doing it. Like, no, that's ridiculous. To expect that I have that kind of influence at all is ridiculous. But it just feels like it would be a disservice to not continue this franchise and this like book series, and like even if it's with new characters, even if we're not like looking at Cass and Inej, if it's with new characters completely, I feel like leaving this world is not the correct choice to do. Not that it is happening, not that it isn't. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's confirmed. I don't think anything is confirmed. But this is really cool, and I really liked this book quite a lot. I highly recommend it. I will say that while I think it is worth it, because I don't think it's bad at all. I don't think it was badly priced. It was this is saying 28 on the back. I thought the pre-order was around 20 on Amazon, but maybe that's now gone up. I don't know. I will say I'm almost positive that this will go down in price. It's probably just like the higher up because it's this brand new book, and I think it's worth the price tag. But if it's like, if you're one of the people who are like, I don't have a lot of money, I'm not going to spend $20 on a book that I can read in 30 minutes, because I did read this in about 25 to 30-ish minutes. I read through the whole, because there's not that many, like, like, there's about this many words per page. Like, there's not huge pages. There's not a lot of reading. There's a lot of pictures. There's a lot of beautiful, beautiful artwork. The puzzle, clearly, you're not buying this because you want a good book. Not that it's not a good book. Let me rephrase this. You're not buying this to be like, I want to read this thing and I want to get into this. This is I love this franchise and I want to see more of it and more exploration of this world. That's what this kind of book is for. And if you're that kind of person and you want that kind of thing, I highly recommend it. I think it's very well worth the price tag. That's about it for me and my thoughts on this book. I really, really enjoyed it, as I've stated several times. I think it's amazing, and I want more from this world desperately. But yeah, I think that is where I'm going to leave it off. I don't want you to just keep rambling on about whatever. I know I've been doing that already. I keep going as well. I am just starting another book. It's another omnibus similar to the Dragons of Azental that I had read previously. It is by an author called Ben Wolfe. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him. I actually got to meet him, and I don't need to go too much into it because I can go into it in the video on the book, but I learned from that video that I do not think I should cover a full omnibus in one video, because I don't think that's super fair to each individual book. If I can give this book of 60 pages its own video, then I can give a trilogy of books that are in one binding their own video, or each of their own video, especially when it's separated out. If it wasn't separated out, then obviously it's one book now. But it wasn't rewritten as only one book. It was, here's all the books, and now we're cutting off the endings and putting them in one binding. So it is a 4-book omnibus. It is the Blood Mercenaries. So it is Blood Mercenaries Origins, and then the trilogy. And I just started it. I'm liking it already, and I'll talk about it soon. But yeah, I apologize for the break. Of course, there will be in the future more, hopefully not 3-month-long breaks like there was just now. My life, it just got really hectic around the end of the school year. It was, Q4, so it's like, okay, we got all this, it was starting to be project focused, and it was very heavy and, focus on this, plus I was trying to do extracurriculars outside of school, I was in robotics, and I was doing a drama thing, and I was doing all this different stuff, and then summer happened, and then it was, now I'm going on a vacation for 2 weeks, and so it's been a whole chaotic mess. And I apologize for the delay, and then also with this, it was making it a chore, so that it wasn't even, engaging to read, and I was getting into all these different things, and I was being pulled in all these different directions, so I couldn't focus on one thing. And I'm trying, and hopefully I will be able to be more focused moving forward. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to call it now. Yeah, let me know down in the comments. Do you guys have this book? Have you read this book? What do you guys think of it? Also, just who's your favorite character from Six of Crows or the Grishaverse, or however you want to do it. Just who's your favorite, I want to talk to people. Come on, I love this franchise. No one in the family wants to read it, and I want to talk to people about it. So come on, I want give me your opinions. Give me your who do you like, who do you hate, why not. Yeah, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a fun dialogue about why some characters are amazing, some characters are not as amazing, and why we think that way and why we don't think that way. I think it's a very interesting way to engage in a shared love of this series that we all love. So that is it for tonight.